Zach, I want to kind of move, into the future
Okay.
of kind of where you want to get to. What's one thing that you're really looking to accomplish over the next 12 months? It could be real estate related, business, team, whatever.
I think right now, like when I look at the future in the next 12 months, I really would like to grow a team. I'm at a point now where being a solo agent and doing everything by myself, I think that there's opportunities to help somebody, someone that's younger that maybe is struggling similar like I was, and to kind of show them what I went through and teach them the things that I picked up along the way and help each other. Because I know I could use the help, and I think that I would be able to help somebody that's in a similar boat.
Wow, that's awesome. What's something that you're looking to hit and accomplish in the next 5 years? What's a 5 year goal for you?
5 year goal, probably have more than one person, like we talked about. I'm not. I'm probably going to stay in the sales aspect for a while. Maybe down the road, like I'd say, if you asked me like what my 15 or 20-year goal was, then I'd probably say managing an office and doing something. I really like working with Coldwell Banker. I could see myself as a manager, or when I decide the time's right to kind of slow down in sales, a manager like somewhere in Florida or somewhere where it's a little warmer, kind of like a retirement job.
Yeah. What do you think that you need to add to your business in order to help you hit your 5 year goal?
Probably just quality surrounding myself with quality people. And that's I've been fortunate with that, whether it's clients or other agents, managers throughout my career. So just if I were to bring people on my team, quality individuals that are willing to work hard, that are going to listen, learn from their mistakes, not dwell on them, and just move forward. And I think to have a few of those around me, whether they're I don't know, I don't want to say buyer's agents or listing agents, whatever,
Sure.
whoever they want to do it. But having those members on my team, I think would help me reach my 5 year goal and help them build their own goals.
Yeah. No, I always tell people we can't do it all. I know some of us, one of the hardest things for a lot of us to do is give up some of that delegation. We think that we need to manage it all. We think we need to touch it all, and if we're not doing it, then our client's not going to get that experience. And I just found over the years it's one of the hardest things for people to let go of.
Yeah,
But in order for you to get to where you want to get to, that's you got to kind of create some of that leverage and delegate some of those things.
absolutely. And I'm learning that right now too. Like I try to do everything myself. Luckily, technology makes it a little easier,
Yeah, for sure.
but there's a lot of times where I'm like, hey, yeah, it's time to have somebody help you do these things.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting to the point now where it's like, I was listening to a podcast about a month ago, and there's the owner of Sphere Rocket, who we get our virtual assistants through. His name's Justin Nelson. He's all about creating leverage, not just within your business, but within your life. But this podcast I was listening to was talking about ROTI, return on your time invested. And how can you do something today that will allow you to multiply your time tomorrow, right? What are some of those tasks that are eating up a lot of your time that maybe we can put a system in place that will speed that up?
Mm.
Or to Justin, can we get virtual assistants to either come into our business or into our life to take some of these tasks off of our plate? And like for me, I'm thinking about having my executive assistant get in and start monitoring all of my emails. Like I don't want to click delete all, these hundred, like that 5 seconds, and everyone will be like, well, that's only like 5 seconds, right? But how many seconds over the course of the year is that eating up of my time,
We
right?
just had a go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's just thinking different, like bigger, differently, right? And
Yeah.
this is like what mentors bring to you, right? Or other people that are doing business at a higher level than what you're currently at is picking up on some of those things. Like, you know, uh, for me, one of the things I told myself this year that I wasn't going to do, but I'm definitely not doing it next year, is mowing my yard, right?
Hmm.
Imagine if you had an hour back to either spend more time with your family or to go out and generate another deal, per month or whatever the case be per week. That one more hour of prospecting may bring you in another $12,000 to $15,000 check. If
Yeah.
you're mowing the grass, you lost that opportunity, right? So yeah, it's just delegation. How can I take some of those small things off of my plate and some of the big things off of my plate?
We had this sales award thing for people, Coldwell Banker that reached a
Yeah, I
certain
saw
level
that.
with the
I saw
club.
that.
Yeah, up in Nemacolin, which is an awesome place. But one of our speakers was the number one agent in Illinois, and she came in there and talked to us. And she has her assistant with her like all the time. Her assistant picks her up at 9 a.m. every morning and brings her home at 6 p.m. So that time in the car, she's working while her assistant's driving her into the city. And then her assistant's phone is synced with her phone. So she filters out like any text message that she doesn't need to respond to, like if it's an inspector, an appraiser, or like something that her assistant can handle, like she takes care of it. If it's something that uh, the agent needs to handle, she has her handle it. So all the mindless emails and texts that, not mindless, but stuff that she doesn't need to go
Right.
through. Like she's focusing on her time on selling and her clients instead of other things.
Exactly.
So when I heard how they had their phone synced, I was like, that's very interesting. It's just like,
But again, it's thinking differently, right? Now you can provide either that next level service to the client. You can spend that time, prospecting for new clients, whatever the case may be, and that's the idea, right? Or, like I said, I mean, if you want a certain lifestyle and you want more time with your kids, family, whatever, friends, it's worth it. It's worth it if you actually look at it and just thinking about things a little bit differently. Um, What's a I've been asking this question a lot lately, and I got this question from a good friend of mine, Mike Doyle, who's also a real estate agent. He was reading a book, um, and the question is, what's the 100-year goal? And he sent me a message about that, and he's like, a lot of times we talk about 5-year goals, 1-year goals, 25-year goals, whatever, but when was the last time someone asked you what's your 100-year goal? And I like to just rephrase it. What's the legacy goal, right? What's that legacy that you want to leave behind, after you're gone?
I've never thought about that. I don't know.
It's a great question.
Yeah, it is. I don't think 100 years from now people are going to be like, hey, that one guy Zack Tominack that sold grandma and grandpa their house, like he was fantastic. I always kind of joke that like when I talk about like my dad being a football coach, people will tell stories about that man for the next 50 to 60 years. And I don't know if I'll leave that kind of legacy. I would like to think that there's going to be some people I touch or some qualities maybe the qualities that my wife and I teach our kids.
Yeah.
About how to live their life and be a good person, that they're going to pass down to their kids and that they'll pass down to their kids. So I think if you lay that foundation, that's the only thing I could think of is that, what you teach others, how you treat others, and that affects how they do the same and they pass that on. I mean, I guess that would be the one legacy that I would want to leave behind.
No, that's awesome. Like I said, it's a question that most people don't get asked and we don't really talk about. Right. And when Mike sent it to me, I was like, I got to think on that one. Right. I put you on the spot, but
What's yours? What's your 100-year legacy?
For me, my mission is to change. I think our industry is broken, in the sense of how we bring in newly licensed people. I think there's a better way to do it across all brokerages. I don't think it's just one brokerage. I think it's all. I think it's just an industry. And my mission is to change the failure rate. I don't feel like it should be 87% failure rate by the end of year 2.
Yeah.
Or whatever the stat is, right? Like, I want to change the some of that mindset around of mentorship and community over competition. No matter what brokerage you're at or whether you're on a team, not on a team, whatever the case may be, because I don't know. I don't know if brokerages do a good enough job. I think they all have great training. I don't know if they do a good enough job, but at the same time, also understanding how can we actually set people up for success when they get into the business. I didn't know anything about real estate or sales when I got into the business.
Mm-hmm.
Can we change the way, we get our license and add in different classes and not just be, 3 weeks, 120 hours and okay, here you go. Right. Like, how do you actually attract people? How do you set up a P&L? How do you go out and get systems, or what systems do you need? Just things like that. And I think brokerages do a good job at it. Um, I think we always can have room for improvement. So for me, I tell people all the time, if I didn't have my mentor from day one, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be in real estate. I just wouldn't. It's not my personality to figure it out. And I'm not a salesperson. so, like I didn't have that natural ability. So yeah, that's mine. Just changing that failure rate. I don't feel like it needs to be 87%. Now,
I like what you said. I mean, it all makes sense. I was this close to being in that 87%.
yeah, I mean, I kid you not. Like, if it wasn't for Ryan, I would not be here. I just wanted to figure it out, and I didn't have the money. I was a broke college kid. Like no money to do it, and I didn't have anything. I had no clue about real estate.
Yeah. And, you talked about the community of like different agents and how they work together. It doesn't always, sometimes it seems competitive. And not everyone's as friendly or opening as they should be. And like, I think one thing I learned throughout the years is a lot of times the better the agent, the more quality that communication is. And they realize that we're all in here for the same goal and that we're working together. You're working for your clients. But in your clients, you start off this mission with a reason they either want to sell their house or they want to buy a house, and you're all working together. And when you have a good agent across from you, like you and I did a deal together. I don't know if you remember it was on Groveport years ago.
Yep.
Like, everything from the beginning, like we knew what we were doing. We were working for our clients and we did a good job communicating. And just like when you have those transactions with good agents and that community is there and realize that you're working together and it's a job and we all have the same goal, like, it has a good feeling.
Yeah, 100%. And, I wasn't always, this wasn't my mindset, in the beginning of my career. I was very John focused. I was very team focused. But, over the years, what I've learned was, if you can actually build quality relationships with other agents, they actually will help your business because it makes your life a little bit easier when you submit that offer over, or you submit that request to remedy, or you need to do an extension or whatever the case. So building the relationships with other agents is just as important as building relationships with your clients, in my opinion.
I had an agent last week. She was probably having a rough day outside of the phone conversation, but she called me and we were talking, and she just started yelling. She was real mad about an inspection not being scheduled, and it just didn't work for my clients on one of my listings. And I was just real calm, and I just asked her. I said, "Hey," I was like, "Is everything okay?" I said, "What are you so upset about?" I said, "Why are you so angry?" And she just kind of sat there for a second, and she's like, I'm sorry. There's a lot of stuff going on. And she just kind of calmed down. I was like, look, we're on the same page. I was like, I want to sell the house. My sellers want to sell the house. Your buyers want to buy it. You want them to buy it. I said, we're all working together. We got the same goal. And she sent me a text later on after that. And she's like, thank you so much. She's like, I needed to hear that. She's like, I needed to be brought down. She's like, I've had a really bad day. And she's like, thanks for just staying calm and talking to me. She's like, I really appreciate it. And that's, that made me feel good. It's like, I like working with other agents like that. And, we all have different personalities, but when you can bring us together, and it makes it enjoyable.
Yeah, 100%. That's what it's all about right there. Getting to the finish line.